Good, Josh. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, but do you know what Mr. Hammer was talking about in religion? Something about a group of bishops gathering in Ephesus?
Yeah, I think like 250 of them. I heard him talking about earlier today.
So you know what he's talking about during the lesson?
Yeah, something has to do with Nestorius in the church, because there's a lot of drama, you know? And this happened a long time ago, in a city far, far away.
I, Pope Celestine, Archbishop of Rome, demand that Nestorius repudiate his ideas because they do not agree with canon law. If he does not recant after 10 days of this admonitory, the excommunication from the Roman Catholic Church will be authorized through Cyril, Patriarch of Alexandria.
Who dares excommunicate me? My teachings are beneficial to the East, while the Pope sits in the West doing the latter. And who is this Cyril? A patriarch condemning me, the Archbishop of Constantinople? I will continue to teach, as I have taught before.
And so, Nestorius stood his ground against the Pope's threats of excommunication. Emperor Theodosius II, hearing the pleas of Nestorius, called in the Third Ecumenical Council of the Catholic Church.
And it looks like we're out of time. Tomorrow in class we'll be discussing the council, where I'll give a summary of it and its aftermath. Class dismissed.
It seems so cool how Nestorius stood his ground and fought for what he believed in.
Yeah, but you know he was wrong, right? Saint Cyril excommunicated him and then proved him wrong in his teachings.
Wait, what? No. This is what happened. Nestorius presented his arguments to the church, but then Nestorius' followers were really mad at the fact that the church excommunicated him.
Are you kidding me? The West End was right, and the East End was just being onto it.
Okay, look, how about we just wait till tomorrow's class, and then we'll see who's right.
Fine.
The next day,
Good afternoon, class. Today I will not be using projector because earlier today, not to name names, someone spilled coffee all over it. So now I'm in a bad mood for two different reasons. This afternoon we'll be talking about the Council of Ephesus. Josh or Francis, can you please pick a color?
Brown!
Alright. So the Council of Ephesus began in 431, and it spanned over 7 different sessions. The 22nd of June, and 6 more times in July. Now, one of the most influential people that influenced this council was Nestorius. He was one of the most devout Catholics of his time, and he was also the Bishop of Constantinople.
Your Majesty, let us come at some meeting.
What about the Eastern bishops? Like, we can't serve without them.
We sent many letters to them, and they said they'll come on their own accord. Because of that, we're going to commence without them.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Cyril?
Thank you, Your Majesty. As you have said, I'm Cyril, Patriarch of Alexandria. I will be presiding over this meeting in the place of Pope Celestine. Our first order of business shall be that of Pelagianism, which is rejecting the doctrine of original sin. Our next order of business will be the heresy of Nestorianism, which stems from the Bishop of Constantinople. Nestorianism is the heresy of saying that the incarnate of Christ is two separate persons, one human and one divine. Our third order of business is another teaching of Nestorius saying that Mary should be the bearer of Christ instead of the bearer of God. That is something that we must talk about this meeting.
Thank you. Let's start off with the first topic.
Our first topic is Pelagianism, rejecting the doctrine of original sin.
Okay, so Pelagianism, basically what it is that it goes against the doctrine of original sin. Original sin basically says that all humans are flawed, but God isn't flawed. God is omnipotent. And that is why we need God in our lives. Without God in our lives, without original sin, we would not have a physical world, no forgiveness in it, and there's no original sin in it.
So what you are saying is, without the doctrine of the original sin, we wouldn't need to be separate from God because we are disconnected from God right now, right?
Exactly.
So you're saying this heresy is wrong, right?
Exactly.
So we deem this a heresy.
We deem Pelagianism a heresy because we can never say that we are without sin, because the original sin says that we are all born with sin. How can we say that when God is the only person that can be without sin? Humans sin throughout their entire lives. So us as humans can never say that. Therefore, Pelagianism cannot be deemed as a doctrine and must be a heresy.
Okay. That is a heresy.
The next
On to the
session.
second session. Let us start our second session of this ecumenical council talking about Nestorianism and Mary, either the bearer of Christ or the bearer of God. Cheryl?
Thank you, Your Majesty. Today we will be talking about Nestorianism, as explained in our previous session. Nestorianism is a heresy created by the Bishop of Constantinople. The heresy talks about how the incarnate of Christ is two separate persons, one human and one divine. This cannot be true in the slightest, because at the expense of his divine half, it overemphasizes Jesus' human nature at the expense of his divine nature. This also contradicts what Jesus had said in the Bible. In John chapter 10, verse 30, Jesus had said, "I and the Father are one," which completely contradicts Nestorianism. Therefore, we can only deem Nestorianism as a heresy.
Do you agree with him?
Yes, I do agree with it.
Then it is settled. Nestorianism is a heresy. Okay, now let's move on to Theotokos and Christokos.
So the thing is, Christ was conceived by Mary. In Nestorius' point of view, this could be called Christokos. And that is obviously a heresy, because the correct teaching is Theotokos, which means Mary is the bearer of God and not Christ.
Because Christotokos says that Mary had born the child Jesus Christ as a man, but in the church's teachings we say that she had given birth to God as a man, not as Jesus Christ is a man.
Does this not contradict also the Nicene Creed created by the Council of Nicaea?
Yes, Christ is consubstantial with the Father.
So therefore, Nestorius is wrong, and all his teachings are heresies.
Exactly.
All agree on it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
What? Historianism is not a heresy, it's a church doctrine.
Nestorius? What are you doing here?
What does it look like? I'm coming to the council.
As we have said already, we have deemed your teachings wrong because they have contradicted with what the previous council has said. And as Cyril here, he's the representative of the Pope, and since he's agreed on this, all these
You must deem your teachings as a heresy.
because the Pope has agreed on it, therefore you are wrong.
Well, then the Pope must be wrong.
The
Because
Pope-
I'm right.
You cannot call the leader of the Roman Catholic Church wrong.
And who is to say that?
The entire Roman Catholic Church.
Whoa!
Okay, let's calm this
Stop
down.
this. I'm sorry, Nestorius, but we've deemed your teachings wrong. You can either recant, or you must be excommunicated.
Okay.
Wait, that was improv.
The next session.
Cyril,
Your Majesty,
Your Majesty,
we have come to meet today in secret, for I fear that Nestorius might cause another commotion at this ecumenical council. So today will be our last session. Today, we're going to finalize everything. All hands on the Holy Bible. Do you all agree that Nestorianism is a heresy?
correct.
Do you all agree that Nestorius shall be excommunicated from this church?
Correct.
Do you agree that Pelagianism is a heresy too?
Correct.
correct.
Do you agree that Mary shall be called Theotokos, bearer of God, and not Christokos, bearer of Christ?
Correct.
Correct.
Do you agree the Nicene Creed shall never ever be changed?
Correct.
I call this meeting adjourned.
Any questions so far? Yes, Mr. Nestor?
Wait a minute. If humans give birth to humans, that means that Mary couldn't have given birth to God, because God's outside of creation.
Well, the fact that God is divine allows Mary to give birth to Christ, the Son of God.
But are you Mr. Hammer?
No, but you should stop acting like you're Nestorius from the old ages.
You should mind your own business.
Well, I would if you stopped agreeing with complete heresy from 431.
Make me.
Right, class. So in short conclusion, there was a division in the East and West, which created the Eastern Orthodox Church, I should say. The Nicene Creed was pronounced unchangeable. Inside the Nicene Creed, the Holy Trinity was affirmed, and Nestorius was deemed an official heretic. Now, are there any questions?
But don't you realize...
No! No questions from you, Nestor. Class dismissed.